KPHT 95.5, Pueblo's greatest hits. It's a Friends Friday. My friend in today, Erin Hergert Tafoya. That's a big name to fill, kid.
It is, but when you have a maiden name that people know very, very well, and then you get married, you kind of have to pull it together for a little while at least until people get used to that new name, Erin Tafoya. So,
all right, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm even still working on it. It's like every once in a while, who are you?
Do you still write checks?
Erin Hergert.
Do you still write checks? Do you have to fill all that out on the check?
Yeah, you guys get all the easy stuff when it comes to all that.
Yeah.
We have to work so much harder when we do a name change. Yeah,
that's true. Well, nowadays at Pueblo Community College, right?
Yep, I've been there 15 years.
15 years.
15 years I've been at Pueblo Community College.
Wow. Well, it's good for you. I appreciate you coming in early on this Friday morning. I know you're a busy lady, so I appreciate you taking the time to come in on a Friday morning.
Thanks for having me.
Chat about some of the stuff that we've had in common for many, many years and worked on over years and things like that.
We're getting old.
I don't think I had gray hair when we met. Maybe I did.
Haven't you always had gray hair?
Maybe. I think I had hair back then when we met, though.
You just need to bleach it like me.
Well, I do. I put this gray in it, actually, so it makes me seem like I'm more knowledgeable and things like that. But
go with that. That works.
Yeah, 15 years at Pueblo Community College.
15 years, yep.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yep. I think when I met you, I was all the way back at the Pueblo Chamber. I was literally like right out of college.
Right.
In my 20s when I met you. Isn't
that
crazy?
We're going to talk about some of that coming up here. Can you hang around for a little bit?
Absolutely.
All right. It is a Friends Friday. It's brought to you by our friends at Advantage Home Mortgage. Faster, easier, cheaper. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My friend in today, Erin Hergert Tafoya. Man, that's like, that's a big name to fill for such a small person.
Well, it's an honor to have those names.
I'm sure. No, I know it is, and I don't mean that lightly either. We were talking a little bit ago. You and I met many, many years ago, and I won't say how many, but you said you were right out of college in your early 20s.
I was in my early 20s.
And you worked at the Greater Pueblo Chamber of Commerce. And this was before Rod Slyhoff even, right?
No, actually, Rod did hire me. So
Rod hired you, but he wasn't the president, right?
No, he was the president, actually, at that point
I thought Dean was the president.
Nope, he was the vice president. So
okay.
Rod was president, Dean was vice president. Of course, Phyllis Zamora, who's still there to this
there,
day.
Yes.
Yep. She was head of membership. So, moved right in.
So what did you get hired for? What was your position?
I was the communications director. Back then we had, I still did advertising and that type of thing.
But there was no such thing as internet back then, right?
We did those hard copy newsletters that we mailed out to every single
press release kind of things.
Yep, exactly. Every single member got a newsletter, and that was our communications piece. We didn't have email, we didn't have internet.
And you physically mailed them, took a big stack of them to the mail.
I knew the bulk mail people like you didn't.
Well, I'm sure. I
can't stand bulk mail, to be honest. I'm so glad things have changed.
And the things that people don't realize now is like with emails and stuff, it's instant gratification because people could email you right back or answer you right back. In those days, they may not even.
And cost effective.
Yes.
It's so much more cost effective.
Oh, yeah. But they may not even open it.
In fact, I used to call you up and ask you to do the events line.
Right.
Remember the events line?
No, I do, because I would
call
record.
The number,
yeah.
And you would talk about all the events coming up, and you would pre-record it for me, and I'd dump it on to that channel.
I forgot about
the
that.
phone number that we had.
Yeah, so you called a certain phone number, and I would say, in the month of September, we have
exactly
ribbon cutting at such and such. I forgot about that.
Isn't that amazing? Yep.
Wow.
The good old days. We are.
So, all right, I'm going to throw you under the bus. What year was this when you started?
Well, that was probably 1995. I mean, that doesn't sound like that long ago. I was going to say
mid-90s, but
1994, 95.
Wow.
Right in there, yeah.
Wow, how things have changed. Communications director, so you were kind of the liaison with TV and radio and newspaper and all that.
And promotion of Pueblo, so,
right.
Trying to get people to come as the Visitors Bureau and encouraging people, both conventions and visitors, to come to Pueblo. And so that was the time when, working with Dean and Rod, that we came up with the Chillin' Free Holi Festival idea.
That is amazing.
Launched it way back then, and I was one of the first people that created the chili logo. Now it's gone over a couple of variations since, but launched the whole idea that we would be the chili capital, basically, based off of New York City and being the apple. You know, we were going to be the chili. So here we are years later, and
that's amazing.
Crazy how
that's amazing.
how it's grown.
And I have told you before, when they came to me with that idea, when Rod and Dean came to me, I was like, who the hell's going to come to Pueblo for chili? But yeah, I'll help you out. Because we were great partners with the chamber all the time. So yeah, if you're going to do it, we'll help you out,
Yeah. The whole idea is about an experience. And so food is an experience.
Right.
Restaurants
Experience the flavor.
Experience the flavor of Pueblo. Yep. And
There
what
you
better
go.
way than do it with the Mirasol chili, the Pueblo chili.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Pretty fun.
Erin Hergert Tafoya in here on a Friends Friday. Brought to you by Advantage Home Mortgage. Faster, easier, cheaper. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5. Friends Friday, my friend in today, Erin Hergert Tafoya from Pueblo Community College now. But we were talking about old chamber days. You started there right out of college. Did you go to college up here at CSUP?
I did for the first 2 years. It was USC, but then I transferred to Fort Collins and graduated from Go Rams.
But we're starting to find out how old you are if it was USC at the time.
Right? All right. So I'm
but
old.
you look the same. You haven't changed. You haven't aged
right,
a bit.
Nick, sure.
You have not. I wouldn't say that. I speak the truth here. My reputation precedes me, but you have not. You have not changed a bit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's the Pueblo air, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's
air.
not working for me. I know that. But hey, those early days of the chamber and stuff, it was early days for you. I'm not sure it was early days for the chamber, but a lot of fun stuff was going on at that time because that was, as you mentioned, the first part of the Chili Fest. The street rods were in young time, and I think wasn't there Little Britches Rodeo and some of that stuff?
Yes,
right?
I was a reporter for the Little Britches Rodeo and put out the daily all the times. They had a little
Right.
newspaper that they put out, and
But
I'd
you
go
physically
around.
had to print.
Literally, yeah. We
Yeah.
would go interview people, and I'd go to the doctor area where they mended the
Guys
rodeo
that got
athletes
bucked
and
off or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Talk to kid whose fingers dangling and ask him, why are you doing this and what's your passion, and write up a story about it, and it would be in the next day with the results. They would go out to
Right.
everybody there on camping out at the state fairgrounds,
And they would live on that like it was the Bible.
Yep.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
remember you bringing that to me. One year I broadcast from out there, did the morning show out there, and you were bringing that to me.
The daily.
Yeah, the daily, so I'd know what was going on.
Yep.
I had no idea what was going on.
It was a
but,
blast. I mean, a lot of work.
Oh, I'm
but that
sure.
was a blast.
I'm sure.
Yep,
And
yep.
Again, this is pre-computer days, basically, or
Pre-computer.
pre-internet day. I'm sure you
Yep.
probably had
My friend the printer helped us put that out at midnight, print that off, take it back out the next day, sort it around, and get ready for another day. It was fun. But that brought a lot of people into our community.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what the Pueblo Chamber was about, and still is.
It still is, yeah.
Bringing those conventions in and having people experience what a great place this is based on our environment and
Right.
and the people here, and we're super friendly and welcoming. And just a
What
lot
were some
good
of the
stuff.
other events that can you remember right off?
Oh, see, the Pueblo Chamber. I mean, now you're making me go way back.
Go way back. Yeah, way back.
Promoting the lake. I mean, it was just all about,
yeah.
making sure that people knew that, this is a fabulous place to be. And we're still working on that reputation because it is a great place.
Absolutely. And the Chamber
and
still
we're
does,
getting-
like you say, a lot of that stuff. They just do it now more online. And,
Oh, I helped open the convention center, to be
That's
able,
right.
That was one of the big things with the look and the brand and feel of the Public Convention Center and
I'll be darned.
doing the invitation for the big ribbon cutting.
yeah,
So,
I remember being
yeah,
at that
but
ribbon cutting.
after that, I shortly went to the Sangre de Cristo Arts Center and started working over there, trying to also another crown jewel of our community.
I forgot about that, too.
And trying to increase the awareness of arts in our community, but also not just in Pueblo, again, regionally, to make sure that people understand all the great things that we have here in our community.
Absolutely, and we do. Now, you're not originally from Pueblo, are you?
No, I'm
I
not.
didn't think you were. I remember us
No.
having that conversation
No,
before.
I was born in Denver, so I
Okay.
am a Colorado native, but I grew up mostly in Wyoming, and then I lived in Kansas City, Overland Park, Kansas, actually, which is a suburb. I went to
Right.
high school there.
South of
moved
Kansas City.
In the middle of my senior year, believe it or not, I moved in the middle of my senior year to Pueblo, Colorado. And I went to South High School for 3 months.
I'll be darned.
And when I went in, they all thought I was a narc because I like who
I could
is-
see that. Yeah, I could see that. Why is this one coming in here at the end of the year like this?
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Wow.
So I was like, that was my big debut in Pueblo.
But obviously, you might as well be a Pueblo native because I know you got a lot of love for Pueblo.
Absolutely, I've been here more than half my life now. So serve on many, many boards and been a major part of trying to get people to understand what a great community this is.
But don't get too many people. We don't want to overload,
I know. This is true. This is true. Some growth is good, though, right?
Absolutely. Erin Hergert Tafoya in this morning on a Friends Friday, brought to you by Advantage Home Mortgage. Faster, easier, cheaper. Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My friend in today, Erin Hergert Tafoya, and we're talking this last time we were chatting here just a few minutes ago. You were talking about working at the Art Center. I forgot that you worked at the Art Center. You did a lot of stuff down there, too.
Yeah, all those days with Festival Fridays.
Festival Fridays, yeah.
I mean, if I had to hear Brick House one more time, you and Wally and everybody down doing live remotes down there as well. And
I remember Wally. I remember Wally in the fountain when his band was there. He was out in the fountain singing, standing in the water in the fountain during those days. It was fun times.
It was those days with Dotsero, and you know, we just had Martini Shot had launched back then. You know, they were just a small little band, and now they're so famous.
Southern Comfort and some of those bands were around at that time. But yeah, good time.
Many years. I was there for 9.5 years at the Art Center. So
wow, and the Festival Fridays, and they're still doing them. Thank gosh, but they were huge. But what was did you do any stuff that you liked hanging your hat on there at Festival Fridays?
Well,
or I mean, not for Festival Fridays, but for the Art Center.
Yeah, I was there for the opening of the Buell Children's Museum, and we launched that, and that was such a major attraction in addition to the Art Center, and then just celebrating the King Collection and all the houses such fine artwork at the Art Center as well. So it was a great experience, great people. Another thing that
economic
development too.
Sure.
Yeah, it's all part of economic development and making people's lives richer for those other reasons people come to communities.
Not just for the chili.
Yep, not just for the chili.
But that's one of those things, being in Pueblo my whole life and a lot of your life, it kind of takes things like the Art Center for granted. You don't think about how all that came together in the early days and how that does give another reason for people to come to Pueblo.
Yep, it's that quality of life. It really is. I mean, like I said, it's the experience. It's all about the experience and what you can do with your family, and the things we eat and the things we enjoy all make the culture of our community.
Absolutely. Now, when you were working there, was it Maggie Divelbus?
Yes.
Is that the time?
Yes.
I was thinking it was. That was the time.
Yep. The entire time. So I had left by the time before she retired, actually. So I had the joy of working for Maggie, who's a complete institution in this community.
Absolutely.
Really did so much for the arts. She really did. And she's one that built the Children's Museum, basically the whole art center. Working with the founders back then and made sure it's such a quality museum that it's still standing and doing well today.
Absolutely. And I think looking to expand maybe even a little bit there. Yeah, that's great stuff. Well, see, I go back far enough to remember when that was a junkyard.
Yeah.
Before they tore all that down and fixed all that up. And
do you remember John Suhe, who was the photographer at the Art Center?
Yes.
He has pictures of it.
Yeah.
And that's how he came there. He was literally picking up garbage on the property and then taking photos, and Maggie or somebody had started talking to him and said, well, do you want to be an artist in residence when we get this thing going? And sure enough, that's how John started there. That's pretty funny.
I'll be darned.
Not a lot of people know that. That's funny.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that at all. But Erin Hergert Tafoya in here on a Friends Friday, brought to you by Advantage Home Mortgage. Faster, easier, cheaper. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5. On a Friends Friday, my friend in today, Erin Hergert Tafoya. Again, thank you for getting up early, coming in on this Friday morning. And you're a busy lady. You're one of the busiest ladies I've known, and I've known you for many, many years. But you're a busy lady. You always got something going on, but you're always attending things that are going on in Pueblo. And I know one thing that you do a lot. You give back a lot because you're on a lot of different boards in this town that people may not realize too, right?
I am. So right now I'm the chairman of the board of Casa de Pueblo.
Did you go over the side or whatever they call it?
Go over the edge?
Over the edge. Did you do that?
I've been over twice.
Oh, really?
And so then I decided it was time for my son to go over. So, and I'm really super proud of him. He's 16 years old. And
your son is 16 years old?
He's
wow.
16 years
All
old.
right.
He goes to PCC, does full-time concurrent enrollment. So
wow. So he's going to school and PCC then.
Yep.
Wow. Or high school.
Yep. He'll get his associate's degree when he graduates from
That's
high
awesome.
school. So
that's awesome.
He's gonna.
So anyway, he went over the side.
He went over edge.
Over
Super
the edge.
proud of him. He went over the edge. So you have to raise $1,000 to go over the edge to help abused and neglected children in Pueblo County.
And it's a great cause. Casa.
So he reached out. He raised that $1,000 on his own.
So you didn't write him a check for like $750?
Nope.
Really?
I mean, being the helicopter parent, you kind of want to do that. But no, it was great. I was so proud of him.
That's awesome.
He reached out to people and made the $1,000 and went over the edge.
So did he like it? Was he scared to death?
Yeah, he did twice. In fact, he's done it twice now.
Now, what about you? Were you scared to death when you did it?
The first time it is pretty freaky when you're
jumping off the Thatcher building, basically, right?
Leaning over, looking straight down, 10 stories. Yeah, it's a little intimidating the first time, but after you get that confidence and the ropes and all that, it's a breeze.
It's okay.
So yeah. In fact, you want to go faster. Like you want to do it again. It's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Let's do it again.
Kind of like that ride at Disneyland or whatever. Yeah, but
it's once is not enough.
Yeah. So Casa de Pueblo, tell us about that organization a little bit.
It's a great, I have to give major kudos to Casa. They're such a great nonprofit organization ran by Zane Grant, and his staff are just amazing people. They really, truly are. They're so conscious of every dollar that's given to them.
And does that money stay right here?
It does. All the money stays in Pueblo County that we collect in Pueblo County, and we have an increasing demand of abused and neglected children in our community.
Unfortunately.
For sure. Unfortunately. Yep. In fact, and it's up over 31% over last year, the number of cases that we're having to serve, which is horrible.
What do you think is causing that? Is just personally, what do you think?
I think there's a lot of different factors due to that. I think COVID didn't help. The fact that kids weren't in school, and we weren't able to identify some of those cases, and to help out. And it's just crazy times. People are under a lot of stress, and there's drug use.
People staying home at that time added a lot of stress, even. But.
And unfortunately, the severity of sexual cases have now doubled, and so and then our drug-exposed infants are up 97%. So, obviously drug use is a part of that too. But, now that we're seeing them again in schools, we're able to identify and help people in the court system. So we don't do that part. But once they go into the judicial system, then we help be that advocate, basically. Our volunteers are. To help those children have a voice in the foster care system and make sure that they're being taken care of.
And that's Casa de Pueblo.
Casa de Pueblo, Right. So I think a lot of that's just being able to identify it. So as well.
Now, that's just one of the boards you're on, right? Yeah. Because I know again, as I mentioned, you're a busy lady. What else have you got going on?
So I used to be on the Pueblo Community Health Center
we
Foundation Board, which is great. We helped open up the East Side Clinic and helped with the funding of that.
What a beautiful place that is.
Yeah, so we can tip our hat for that, right?
A little bit,
Yeah, so that's a great. We love working with Laura Kelly.
Absolutely.
I know you do. So.
Yeah, she's a pain in my butt, but yeah.
She's awesome.
And I would say that if she was sitting in here, and you know that. Yeah.
Oh, no, I remember when you brought that friend on. You guys are hilarious.
I don't know about that, but yeah, it was fun being on that board. But and then other things you got going on.
Yeah, so I'm on the Pueblo West Chamber Board now as well.
Oh, really? You never stop.
I never stop. So I live in Pueblo West. I have a vested interest in Pueblo West. I work at Pueblo Community College, and obviously a lot of people who are in the community can definitely gain from the offerings that we have at PCC as well.
Sure.
So it's a great collaborative effort to help work with the job market. We want to get people to get the skills and reduce the skills gap and
we're
get
going to talk about that a little bit coming up here too. But so you're not a Pueblo native, but boy, you got your hands in Pueblo everywhere you turn, don't you?
Yep, for sure.
That's good. I'm glad you do.
I can't imagine life not being here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad you do have your hand in all that stuff there.
Thanks,
but Pueblo, not Pueblo. It's Pueblo's greatest hits. It's KPHT 95.5. Friends Friday, Erin Hergert Tafoya brought to you by Advantage Home Mortgage. Faster, easier, cheaper. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5. Friends Friday, my friend in today, Erin Hergert Tafoya, and we were talking about Casa Pueblo and Pueblo County and all that stuff. I know you guys have another event that you came in here with last year that's It's probably about due again, right?
It is.
What's that now?
So my husband, of course, that we were talking about, that I'm a Tafoya, is Michael Tafoya, and he's the captain at the Colorado State Patrol for Troop 2D.
Captain Tafoya.
Commander.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
So he wanted to do something for Casa. He too was very passionate about.
And this was before you were married and everything. He came in here, I don't know, a year or two ago.
Yep, a year ago.
And we talked about it, I remember, yeah.
So we came up with the concept of called Cram the Cruiser. Cram a Colorado State Patrol Trooper Cruiser, basically. Okay. And
cram it with what?
It was ridiculous. I mean, it was such an amazing event with toys.
With toys.
So we did a toy drive for Christmas time.
I do remember this
Casa de Pueblo. And so all these toys went to the abused, neglected children in our community. And so we worked with Walmart and stood outside of Walmart the Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving. And it was ridiculous how much people in this community give.
That's awesome. So they would go in and buy something and then bring it out and give it to you guys? Is that kind of how that worked?
We filled up, I don't even remember. We had a huge garage, probably 3-bay garage. We filled it out almost entirely up with toys.
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't just a cruiser. It was like 30 cruisers. People are so generous in this community and want to help, especially children, children in need. And the stories, it was great because we were able to tell everybody about what CASA does and that we help children going through the court system, and everybody has a story. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
As you know, I'm sure in radio.
Doing those food drives and things.
Yes,
some of the people that
has a story.
Some of the people that probably needed the food were the first ones to donate too.
Exactly.
And I remember when I was in that position, and things like that. Yeah.
It's not the super rich people handing it out. It's the people that are barely getting by, and they're coming out with huge baskets full of toys to donate out of their heart and in dedication of their wife, who an EMT helped his wife, and so here's an EMT Barbie doll. It's just it was amazing.
I could give you a huge basket of toys out of my grandson's bedroom, and he'd never miss them. And they wouldn't be new, though. You want new, I take it.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, we want new. So we had such an amazing response. We almost overwhelmed CASA, basically. We're only going to do it one day this year, the Friday after Thanksgiving. So watch for us at local Walmart.
So that's what I was just going to ask you. You're going to do it again.
We're going to do it again. It was great.
Awesome.
It's awesome. So thank you, everybody, in advance. So we'll see you then. And we look forward to helping
save those toys.
Yeah, so
awesome.
Cool. So cool.
Erin Hergert Tafoya in here on a Friends Friday, brought to you by Advantage Home Mortgage. Faster, easier, cheaper. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My friend in today, Erin Hergert Tafoya, and chatting about, we met each other many, many years ago, Greater Pueblo Chamber of Commerce, and some of those early days of the Chili Fest and things like that. What are you doing nowadays?
Well, now I'm at Pueblo Community College for the last 15 years. It's
amazing. I just lost track of time. No, we run into each other quite often, actually. Here, never. But you've been there 15 years.
15 years, yeah. When you've been around that long, it's interesting to see how an institution like that changes, and the people that you meet, and the people that we serve. Again, I've always seems to be in a position where I get the opportunity to serve people. So
and that's really rewarding. It's not always about the money. That's what people don't realize. It's not always about the money. I know you and I both could have done different things where we could have made a lot more money, but that's not what it's always about.
No, and especially at Pueblo Community College, I feel is such a great institution for our community.
Right.
It's about open access and value and getting credentials so that you can go make your life better. Do those things to help provide for your family or make your family proud.
Right.
And, fend for your family and do the things you want to do in life. And so we do that in a very affordable way. So
and what an awesome campus that you have over there now.
Yes.
Years ago, obviously it wasn't like that, but now that's an awesome place now.
Right. Well, and honestly, I think the university should have stayed in the, instead of moving up on the hill.
Right in the middle of everything, yeah.
How different Pueblo would have been if we had just kept it in the center of our community.
Right.
We could have.
No, that makes sense,
We'd been a little bit more of a college town. Not that we aren't a college town, but it's always, when you have it in the heart of the neighborhoods, it has such vibrancy you can bring to a community. So, we definitely try to do that as well as a community college. We don't have dorms per se, but We do have like an Einstein's, and we do try to provide a beautiful campus where people can hang out and have fun, and so that it does serve a lot of needs in our community, and I'm very proud to be a part of such a great
when you started
institution.
over there, where did you start? What position did you start at?
So I originally was supposed to be a webmaster, which is really kind of funny. A webmaster and graphic artist. I don't know anything about webs, so. But
you buffaloed them for a lot of years,
yes, I did. I quickly moved into being the director of marketing not long after that, and have a webmaster under me pretty much ever since, and she's fabulous. Thankfully, she knows what she's doing. So, but I do have that graphic art side to me. I used to own a graphic art business when I was young, working at the chamber. And
you're still young. Don't give me that. Yeah, but,
try to make ends meet. So you do all those things. Like you have all these side things that you do, and to try to make money. And so I had a graphic art business, and so I did the graphic arts
you
for
understood
PCC
it then,
for many time. Yeah.
So what you're saying, I know that you were instrumental in maybe changing that logo and changing kind of the look of PCC too, correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So back then, you remember the old teal and terracotta logo that we used to have?
Oh, yeah.
I worked with the president at that time and said, maybe it's time to freshen us up and give us a new brand and a new feel. And so we actually went back in time to the old PJC colors of 1933 when it was Pueblo Junior College, that maroon, and brought that back. And I think it's been a big hit. So I think one of the big things I've tried to contribute to PCC is the brand. That you definitely, when you look out in our community, that you can see our brand, know we're about a credible, great place to get an education with dedicated faculty, and that comes out in everything we do when we feature our students and the look and feel of our college and our logo. So I've been working on that for years and believe very much in branding, and feel like PCC's really excelled.
Absolutely. Like I say, it's changed a lot, not taking anything away from people that got an education there before, but the atmosphere and the look and the kind of like openness or something seems like it's changed a lot from back in the old days.
Yeah, and I think, people are understanding more and more of what community colleges can do in a community and how it can and really change. We can move on a dime much quicker than other institutions, and helping with our workforce development and meeting the needs of. We're one of the main reasons Vestas came to Pueblo, to be honest. So,
I remember that even back in the days of Sperry and that the PCC stepped up to teach machinists and different things. They were right on it to teach welders and different things, same way as you mentioned with Vestas, but way back in the day with Sperry, PCC stepped up and says, yeah, we can educate your workforce right here.
Absolutely. And CS Winds just brought our president to South Korea, took Dr. Javik to South Korea, and we're now working on a partnership with welding to help CS Winds.
Which is Vestas' new name.
Exactly. So it keeps going. We just keep trying, and we're trying to make sure that our community grows and can help not only people in Pueblo, but regionally as well. So a lot of people come from Colorado Springs, for example, for our dental hygiene clinic or respiratory therapy. We offer some programs that nobody else offers in the state. So
if I came to you and said, hey, what have you been up to the last 15 years? You can tell me.
Yeah, I've been doing ads.
Erin Hergert Tafoya on a Friends Friday on KPHT 95.5, Pueblo's Greatest Hits. Yes, you have. Pueblo's Greatest Hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My longtime friend, Erin Hergert Tafoya. I knew you when you were Erin Hergert. Well, that was only like 6 months ago or so, right? Yeah.
Really, 2, 3?
Oh, was it only 2? Yeah. We worked together on a number of projects, including those very early days of the Chili Fest. But most recently, done a lot of things together with, the parades, the Christmas Parade of Lights and different things like that.
State Fair Parade.
Yeah, basically PCC is instrumental in getting that off the street and onto the TV.
Yes, well, thank God for Scott Richards.
God rest
his soul.
Absolutely.
So we unfortunately lost him this year. Scott was amazing. We just honored him at City Council this last Monday for his broadcast of the City Council meetings. But he's the one that really helped our community in terms of putting it on TV. Really, with the State Fair Parade and the Parade of Lights, broadcasting that from Memorial Hall. whether it was rain, sleet,
Yeah,
snow,
yeah. Oh
freezing
gosh,
temperatures.
I know. I was out there in some of those. Yeah.
You and I hanging out,
I
doing
remember,
the play-by-play, man on the street.
Absolutely. In the early days, I remember Scott had to be like MacGyver to make stuff work because there was no budget for any of that.
Nope.
And, he would get stuff to go, and it would be quality broadcast. And if you knew what was going on behind the scenes, you'd think, how did this guy pull this off?
And he did it with students.
Yes.
I mean, he used our students half the time, and on-the-job training, literally
Absolutely.
on-the-job training with those, not only with the parades, but also with District 60 football games, the Bell game. I mean, he put the Bell game and the Cannon game on the map in many ways because of his broadcasts.
Well,
and now CSU Pueblo as well.
Sure.
So,
and I think back about working with him and the late Tommy Jidone on some of those tough man competitions and stuff.
The MMA fights.
Yeah. We'd be inside the thing, and he'd be out in a truck in the back, and all of it would work. And I don't know how, because he knew how to make stuff work without a huge budget. He didn't have a huge budget.
Had hardly any. But in fact, he was an auxiliary to the college, so he didn't receive college funding. That was all based off of sponsorships or, doing whatever we could with small budgets that people had.
Sure.
So, he was great at doing what he had to do. And with a great product, like you said.
Absolutely.
I mean, he really did.
He put Pueblo on the TV.
He did.
And in a positive way always. It wasn't in a negative. It was always in a positive way.
No, absolutely. I mean, those city council meetings that were our broadcast on public access, Scott spent every other Monday night for 20-some years when his family's at home. You can relate to this, Nick.
I know. So can you.
He dedicated his life.
But you got to see city council meetings because of him taking the time and the initiative and the knowledge to make all that happen. Because before you never would have.
With nothing, basically, like you're saying. Yeah. And the fact he built that mobile truck and he was able to go out to, he did funerals and worked with the diocese and did a bunch of their.
I remember when he was showing me that truck when he first got it, I'm thinking, whew, buddy, you got your work cut out for you here. And I'm a car guy, but I'm thinking, you got your work cut out for you here to make all this jive. And he did.
Oh, he did it. He did it. And so, fortunately, he had a gentleman named Lee Truan who has followed her around for the last 6 years or so. And so Lee just kind of sucked up every single thing that Scott did. And
that's awesome.
Thankfully with Lee, we actually pulled off the State Fair Parade broadcast, and he's doing the city council meetings. We're doing the debates. Just did the governor's debate last night. That was or 2 nights ago. That was a really big deal, and that was all because of Scott and what he was able to share with his students, and for them to lead on with his legacy. It's
like you say, learning on the job was what that was, and
Literally.
learning from one of the best there.
Yes, he was such a fun guy.
Absolutely. Nice guy, too. Very nice guy. But Erin Hergert Tafoya in here on a Friends Friday on KPHT 95.5. Friends Friday brought to you by Advantage Home Mortgage. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My friend in today, Erin Hergert Tafoya. Not easy for me it just doesn't roll off the tongue.
You just need to practice
Erin
a little bit
Hergert Tafoya. Erin Hergert Tafoya. It's
That's
getting better, yeah. But just about to wind things up here on a Friends Friday. But, it's great. I appreciate you coming in here this morning. But there's a lot of things people don't know about you. And I know that I don't know if this is the correct terminology, but you're a great marksman. Is that being stereotyped, or is it Mark's person now, or what?
Sure, I'll go with marksman. I don't mind
marksman?
that.
Are you okay with that?
I'm good with that.
In this day and age, you don't know what's good and what's bad.
Yeah, but I roll with things a little easier. So
that's kind of what we've always gotten along, I think. But you are sharpshooter, is that correct?
Well, that was back in the day. Now, once I had children, things changed a little bit. But yes, at one point in time, I was a 2 times women's state pistol champion in practical shooting. Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
And all those times I made you mad, I never knew that.
Yes. Yeah. I think I was way back in, 96, 97,
really?
Somewhere in there. Yeah. I used to do a lot of shooting, go out on ranges, and you'd spend a whole 8 hours. It was
8 hours you'd spend in a wow.
It was like golf, kind of, except for instead of a hole, you had a berm, and they would come up with a scenario like, like there's a bad guy outside your door, and so you're lay on a bed and you open up there's a timer and it goes off, and you open up a drawer and pull out your gun and you go shoot all the bad guys outside your door.
And hopefully you don't shoot a good guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing,
and you
right?
get penalized when you shoot a good guy. Yeah,
and rightfully so. Yeah.
So it was accuracy and speed that you were.
And you were the 2-time state champion for women.
It was a blast. Like a live video game, basically.
You
Dangerously live.
You need to
video
take me
game,
shooting sometime and show me.
Absolutely. And what's so funny is I would never shoot anything. Like I can't.
No, I know.
I would never
you
go hunting.
Yeah, I know. I know that.
No,
yeah.
But a target, sure, absolutely.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's total fun.
That's awesome. That's unbelievable. But nowadays, mom and not a grandma or anything like that.
Thankfully,
nowadays,
no,
mom and you got 2 kids.
Yep, my daughter, like I said, my son goes to PCC,
right.
concurrent enrollment full time, and then my daughter did the same thing, and so I graduated with her associate's degree. And
how old is she now?
She is 19, but
wow.
she'll turn 20 next month, and she will graduate from Wichita State, Kansas University. In May. So,
wow.
I mean, by the time she's 20, she's off and running.
Awesome. Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree then, is what you're saying.
No. Although my son is, he does work full-time too. Well, not full-time, but part-time. So he is a doer too. But my daughter's the go-getter, I'm telling you. So,
well, there you go. Yes, I had lunch with her or something one time with you guys a long time ago.
Yeah. Yep.
You could tell she was go.
She's fearless.
And Public Community College, as you mentioned, there's some funds available that people may not even think about sometimes.
Yeah, the ARPA dollars and the CARES dollars, some of that is still around. So, that's one facet of the college. But there's also a lot of new grants that you can now go to PCC starting in even the spring semester. And like we have 5 programs that the legislature recently approved funding for. So you can become an CNA, an EMT, a phlebotomy tech, a farm tech, or a medical assistant for free.
For free.
Anybody.
Wow. And there's a big demand for these positions is why that's going on. Yeah.
Free tuition, the fees, and supplies will all be provided.
So you can go to your website, find out more, and what would that be?
PuebloCC.edu. So, I mean, that's just one group of money. I mean, there's other money if you're interested in computer sciences or health information technology. There's some large grants for that.
Wow.
If you've been in school and want to return and have some bad debt, we can help erase that and get you back in school for that way. We have apprenticeship programs where you can work and go to school at the same time, and so that you learn the skill, and then hopefully we'll probably get hired.
Go right into the job.
Yeah, right into the job. There's just so much opportunity for people now, and I just don't know that people understand. Just take a little initiative, and you'll be amazed how far you can go.
Well, go check it out. Again, go to your website, Pueblo
CC Community College, PuebloCC.edu.
There you go.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming in,
you,
and
Nick.
I certainly appreciate your friendship all these years.
Absolutely, you too.
And you made over all these logos, and you've done all this stuff. Maybe you could give me a makeover.
Well, the blonde's starting to work. Oh yeah, great. I mean, it's getting there.
Yeah, maybe not blonde, but anyway, thank you again for coming
thank
in
you,
here.
Nick. Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Erin Hergert Tafoya. I got it right off that time here on a Friends Friday, brought to you by Advantage Home Mortgage.